All right, everybody. The market is now closed, and it is Monday, May 19th. It's 1:21 p.m. here in Arizona. That's Freedom Time or Pacific right now. So, market closed. Really interesting day for the futures markets, the NASDAQ and such like that. Definitely an up day. So, we're going to look at Bitcoin and all that stuff real quick. Okay, we're going to look at everything. I'm going to do a quick walk through. I just wanted to mention this. Okay, FinViz. Let me make this a little bit bigger, hard to see. FinViz, okay. Dow up, NASDAQ up, S&P 500 up, and the Russell 2000 did close down. But the Russell 2000 is definitely a little bit hyperactive. It definitely shows the trend. It would not surprise me with the Russell 2000 a little bit down today after the move up of the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500. If tomorrow they don't tend to trend down a little bit. Although with the up markets today, definitely a mix of red and green in the markets, the traditional markets. Now, let's look at what you guys care about. Well, almost what you guys care about. First, gold. This is a cool chart template by Blockchain Education. Definitely a link in the description if you want to check them out. Belonged to them for years. If you're a crypto trader explicitly, a great place to be, and it's starting to expand into other things like futures and such. But with that said, Blockchain Education, really great. Link in the description. Come join the team. Come in for the big win. Gold. So gold today, this is the daily chart. Gold, kind of sideways today, but definitely watch for gold. It is up here in the Bollinger Bands and such like this. This thing is really, actually, this is the ATR ribbon up here. So the ATR ribbon, we hit it recently back there on like the 21st of April. Now we're doing a double top. Kind of interesting. So watch out. Definitely, gold's definitely extended. We're probably going to overextend it. Probably going to see a retrace in gold on the daily, but still, gold up there, doing really great. Let's just rock through these commodities real quick. Silver. Silver's been sideways for a while. It's not pushing too hard. So silver is sideways. Anything else to actually look at before we get out of here? Well, of course, we're going to look at Bitcoin. On a different chart template, but Bitcoin definitely on the daily really has been pushing. Today had quite the wick. Could have picked up some Bitcoin like 102,000. That would have been rather groovy if you could have gotten it. Looking at a weekly chart for Bitcoin, do note this. And one thing about, I think today's close was the highest body close, not wick. So it's been higher. There's been wicks to higher. But I think today's close was the highest body close. Or either was today or was this week. That would have been last week or today. Anyway, sorry, I'm kind of a mess. But look, this week, if we look at it so far, this would have been last week. And then this is this week. So this week definitely is looking really wonderful. We're slightly above last week's close. So anyway, we're looking good. Weekly chart. Something that people did notice, and I wanted to mention this. This guy here, James Crypto Guru, came across him today. He's really amazing. There's kind of a weekly video on Bitcoin and other cryptos, and it's absolutely outstanding. Just search James Crypto Guru in the in Google and Yahoo, and not Yahoo, in YouTube, and you'll find him. So anyway, here's a weekly chart. One of the things that he actually did point out here on the weekly was that we were kind of coming up here, and we had a proper flag, or you could say like a wedge, but basically it broke down and then came up. So anyway. He was actually on this and he saw it. So he kind of called this recent price action. And from what I hear from others that I talk to, he really has been on it for quite a long time. So might be worth a follow if you're interested. So anyway, long story. I do believe it was today's candle, which would have been yesterday's candle, which would have actually been Friday's candle. 18th. This is 4x. Anyway, sorry guys. Just forget that I said the high. I forget how that actually was working out. But anyway, here we are. So on the daily chart, let's go back over here to enough of this template. I love it, but I know this one better. So daily chart. Now I've been doing a Fibonacci sequence off this wick down here back on August 5th of 2024. So I think this fib sequence works really well. So you can see we've been pushing quite hard. We have an upwards channel going here. And, let me zoom in a little bit here. and you can see this beautiful uptrend that we've been in, and it's quite nice. You can see these candles by Sam, these purple candles, which means 3 candle bodies in a row lined up on top of each other. So we definitely had a beautiful uptrend. Today though was quite a wick, and when you look at dojis, if we look at this guy, if we really zero in here, and we kind of play the rules, it's not a shooting dart. It's like a spinning top, I think they call it. Anyway, I get confused because there's like 9 different ones. But in general, if this candle body was right in the center, that'd be an indecision. This is on the top, so we'll see what happens. It means that ultimately selling pressure, buying pressure did hold this candle up. So if it's at the bottom, that's kind of bearish. At the top, it's kind of bullish. So even though it may be a red candle, selling pressure kept this guy up there. Definitely, it was a battle on the close of this daily candle, which is still in play. So right now, let's see how this rolls. I'm very interested. So you couldn't quite call this an engulfing candle here from yesterday for the day before because it doesn't quite fit. But if we zoom in, this is interesting. I'm sure somebody who's a master of like Japanese candlesticks and such could tell me this is probably a pattern. But this here is a bit of indecisive doji because the body's right there. The body of the candle has about the same equal wicks there on each side. This guy here would close giving you kind of a bearish thought. This one here would close giving you kind of a bullish thought. So, and this one here is a little bit bullish. So anyway, we really have a lot of sideways action, a lot of price action battle going on. But anyway, yesterday, beautiful green candle. Today, beautiful green candle with a close, as it probably will close as a bullish candle. But as we're looking at all this, let me kind of zoom back in. Is this going to continue? You know what? I tell you what. I wanted to look at something a little bit unique here. Let's see if I can maximize this window. Anyway, sorry guys, I'm moving a little bit slow today. Anyway, what I wanted to do, let's just go through the charts today. Let's look at Bitcoin, the ISO compatibles. Let's also throw in Solana, and we'll also look at Doge. Those are just big players right now. You really can't ignore them. And with that said, like I said, on a daily chart, we're beginning to roll over. You can see the MACD has rolled over, but a little bit indecisive there. You can see that we're losing some volume. The squeeze indicator here is beginning to roll over on the daily. So just be careful. This fib sequence, it would not surprise me if we see a bit of a retrace here before we continue moving up. And I really like the way, I kind of went off the rails when I first started this. This guy here is really worth watching. And like I said, just look for James, Crypto Guru, his recent one. He was saying, if I remember, he was saying like he actually makes calls like weekly, and he was saying like 103,000, 104,000 as a buy, 102 as a stop loss, and a take profit of 111,000. And he thinks it might go up to 116,000. This guy's interesting. Start watching him, and you might find that he might give you good weekly calls for Bitcoin. He does promote kind of trading with leverage. I don't really do that with crypto swings, but you certainly could. Anyway, rather interesting guy. Definitely worth a follow and a watch. And his take on it is we might see a retrace to 103,000, 102,000, or 104, 103,000, and 102,000 would invalidate that. But so put your stop there. But anyway, he's saying a little bit of a retrace and then a move. And I think that we could even see more of a retrace than that. I mean, we are looking at this support level here was massive at 95,000. And here also, if you're into the, let me actually get rid of this. If you're into the ITC stuff, and if you're not, then don't worry about it. You're probably a happier person, to be honest with you. So if you're into the ITC stuff, this is a huge fair value gap, and I can't get around. Let's just see what happens. I mean, I kind of would like to get into a swing. I do think, especially with, where is it at? Should I actually open it and save it somewhere? Yeah, here it is. Gregory Mannarino, this interesting article that he just wrote And he mentions this, China leads the BRICS expansion, offering an alternative to Western hegemony. China is stockpiling gold, while the U.S. is adding crypto to its strategic reserves. This is not a confidence builder for the world economy when it comes to, is this like a pro or a con? Anyway, it's an interesting article. I guess I could just stick it in the live chat real quick. And I think that one of the things to note about all this is, whether it's like overall good, bad confidence builder, however you want to look at it. I put it in the chat right now, so you can see it there. But whether it's like a pro or a con for the market, like, is it exciting? Is it not exciting? I mean, the one thing is it probably will continue to push up crypto, especially if we're going to add to the balance sheet. I mean, who knows? But if it becomes like, I don't know what's going to happen. But like if the Fed starts buying like billions of crypto or something like that, I don't know what's going to happen. But I just think we're really are in a pretty darn bullish pattern right now. I mean, on the daily, we are well above the 200 moving average here, the white moving average. We're looking good. It's a beautiful push. Maybe we're a little bit overextended, but then again, we just closed on a daily with a higher high. Here's a high, here's a higher high. You could kind of say this is a lower low, and you could kind of say maybe that's a lower low. You could say this is definitely a lower low. I mean, so I'm sorry, a low, a higher low, and a higher low. So, we're definitely moving pretty good. Now I'm a little bit nervous right here because this could have been a beautiful, accumulation phase. And now you have your breakout to the top, and what's going to happen after that? Like I say, if you are into, the ITC model of things, then it would not surprise me if now we break low, and that definitely could happen. So anyway, I'm bullish overall, but just be careful. Definitely, I could see us come down into this fair value gap, and looking at that fair value gap, let's make this actually very, 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 very precise here. Let's really get this exactly where it needs to be. Okay. And I'm going to do my best let's make this just crazy big here. And let's look at this. Check this out. Fair value gap. All right. It's a big one. Let's get rid of this guy here. Now, what if okay, let me get a GAN box here. It's just the easiest way to get it. Let's go right here. Whoop. Now, I'm not really looking west and east, just north and south. 50% is right here. Okay, so like what is 50%? Let me actually use a better indicator for that. I just didn't want to use a fib because I thought it might get a little busy. Let's use a fib retracement. 50% of this fair value gap is definitely going to be a support and resistance level. So 50% is 999,918, So anyway, I'm just thinking if this ends up being like, if this ends up doing kind of, in my opinion, like the ITC model, watch out, because this very well could have been accumulation, and then here is your here's your liquidity buy. Here's the liquidity zone up here, liquidity zone down there. It was ranging. And then, of course, we pump here. Everyone's going to go long. Yeah, long. One more candle here kind of confirms that. People are going to start thinking it's going up here. They're going to be like, yeah, it's going on. Oh, crap. Sorry about that. They're going to, I know I'm doing ridiculous sound effects. But anyway, I'm like, they really could be like, yeah, it's going up here. It's going up here. Yeah. They're probably thinking it might chase those higher wicks that have happened recently, but I don't know, given the way, especially if you got big money getting into this, we might really start playing like the ICT model. If you're not familiar with ICT, I'll like tomorrow, I'll mention some links to get into it. But anyway, just be careful because this has been accumulation. Okay. And actually before it was accumulation, like before even though it was the ICT model, this was called, I think, like, this was like called like institutional right here. This would have been called retail participation, and this would have been called distribution down here. So anyway, this is old as the hills. It's nothing new. Also, check that out. I just noticed this, here on the daily. So here's a big fair value gap, but also look at that. Here, let's actually, and so you guys got this remembered, right? 99,000 could be the 50%. It's either going to go bounce off 99,900 or crash through it. But that is really a spot to start looking for a bounce. But also, I just noticed this. Check this out. Get rid of all this mess. Really, you've also got, no other fair value gap. That's it. So anyway, 50% of that could be a bounce spot. Anyway, Bitcoin doing well. I gotta wait till tomorrow. I almost might like put some buys on the way down. So I think we might see a little bit of a retrace, and if I catch them, I catch them. If not, well, whatever. But I do kind of have a feeling that we're going to continue this bull market. So with that said, let's keep on rocking. I don't want to keep you guys forever. Sorry about that. A little bit too much banter there. But anyway, daily candle for XRP USD. This is exciting. We've had a run up last couple of days. We gave some back, and it looks like it's kind of funny. I bet you we'll see this candle all over the place on these things right here. Nice little bullish candle, nice wick, but it closed, with the body, small body on the upside. Had the same thing here. See this candle here. Anyway, this here would be a bearish candle. This would be a bullish candle, and look, and then it did what you would expect. And now we got another bullish candle. So interesting. Looking at the MACD and indicators, this guy might be starting to want to roll over. So anyway, this guy here is looking good. XRP on the way up, rolling over a little bit. Do you know this? It's been holding this this 200 moving average trend line for quite a while. So for me, if I was going to actually play this coin right now, if I wanted to get in, let's see, can I find that indicator fast enough? If not, I'm not going to bother. Okay, long position. I would sort of get right here. I'd have a stop, tight one right under that 200 moving average, and then I would just ride this guy back up to wherever I thought was, a good idea. But honestly, I would not get in this trade. It's way too much risk for me until we actually saw an approach to the 200 moving average. And then if the indicators began to show that we might see a turn up, this is where I'd get in with a really tight stop. I think that I think XRP could be a groovy play. XLM, nice. Well, it's above the 314 moving average, the green moving average here. It's below the 200 moving average. I don't like playing anything in this range. I want it to be above both. I don't like playing between the 200 and 314, but at least the 200 is above the 314. We definitely have had some nice, beautiful purple candles there where the body's lined up. It's moving pretty hard. We're seeing a retrace. How do the indicators look? Come on, indicators, where are you at? Oops, sorry. Indicators. Indicators, MACD's rolling over. It's rolling over. So we're getting a little bit of weakness. We just entered the week with a nice move up. I'm sorry. We're seeing a little bit of weakness. We're not quite there. I think everything's going to turn up at the same time. Looking at ALGO, Cardano, basically ADA, broke below the 200 moving average, had a nice glorious moment, then broke below it. We're going sideways. It would not surprise me if what we're actually sitting in is an accumulation area right here, and we're eventually going to see a break up and down or down and up. So anyway, there we go. That is Cardano. Definitely been making some beautiful gains recently. Got above the 200, but it's giving it back. Look at the MACD. All these have the same MACD. All these have the same MACD. I'm noticing MACD is rolling over towards the negative. Like if we look at Bitcoin, it's a little hard to see. I mean, but the MACD is ultimately, it has rolled over towards the negative side. So we'll have to kind of see how that plays out. I'm seeing this as a bullish candle on the daily here for Bitcoin, but man, I don't know. Hard to play. What do you guys think? I think we could see a pretty nice retrace and continue up. I don't know. Even here, I mean, I don't think it's quite going to be here to the 236 fib level as I have it. But also something I wanted to show everybody. If we can actually do this, let's see if I can. Let's do a monthly candle. Okay. Let's pull more in, and let's see if we can actually do this. So, you know, let's remove this stuff here. Let's try a weekly, see if we can pull enough data in here without things blended. Make this maximize. So, this is just what I wanted to show is, this is something Jonathan Regan found over at Blockchain Education. So he's the one who actually, enlightened me to this. But if you look here, you've got like institutional buying. You've got like, of course, institutional buying. Oops. You've got, that's a minor one, but here, institutional buying. Here, institutional buying. And if you look at these, you're going to notice that before they take off, if you tighten these up enough, you'll notice like before they take off, you get some downside. So I'm not going to interrogate these really, too tightly, but you will see. I could zero on that one more, but you get it. It's a typical model. So you've got the institutions who are sitting here. They're like buying, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. And what happens? Go down here. People think it's dumping. You're gonna wreck a lot of longs right there. I'm saying, yeah, once you dump it, you're gonna wreck longs, and they're very strategic. They dump it to exactly the right price to dump the longs they want. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if this dumped about 10% down. I could even use like a forecast tool, and I could see that. Where is the, sorry about that. Where is, it's right here, the forecast tool. Sorry, this is taking way too long, but forecast, like from the norm down here, where was it, about 7%, about, okay, 8.43, so they dumped it just enough to get rid of all the longs that they didn't want to exist there. And then boom, they create the liquidity and up they go. And it's just massive. So right now, if you look at it, we've kind of been in an accumulation zone, and then boom, they dump, wreck all the longs that got all excited, and then they begin to move it up. So they really, the big money has created what it needed to actually make this happen. And hopefully I'm doing this justice. I know that let's try daily candles. Yeah, daily candles, you can see it a little bit better. That was weekly. So daily, you can see your accumulation zone here. Accumulate, dump a little bit, move up, and you can even see minor moves within that. Like here's definitely one, accumulate. But really, this is what you're really looking at here. Accumulate. Boom, boom, boom. You can see this nice, what's going on here, and then dump out a couple of times, make your liquidity, and then move. So anyway, I think right now a lot of liquidity has been created, and now we'll probably see another move, because what really happens, if you look at this diabolical system that they have, which is just typically how things are done really. Where's my brush? You got accumulate, then you've got boom, you've got accumulate, you've got boom, you've got accumulate, dump it out, and then boom, So I think that's what we're going to see. That's just my take on it from what Jonathan Regan was saying. He articulated it way better. But if you want to hear that, you got to go to Blockchain Education. Come be a member of the team. Anyway, looking at XLM, Stellar Lumens. We're like this one, I think, but between the 200 and the 314. I don't really want to play that one. It's rolling over like the rest. ADA. Kind of rolling over a little bit. We're seeing a little bit of weakness here in the market. Here we go. I'm kind of refreshing myself here. Sorry, I'm kind of, but you see this with a lot of these, this nice little uptrend, So we've had this long, downtrend. We had kind of a break in the market structure from like downwards channel now to upwards channel. We've had a little push recently, but it's kind of drying out. We're seeing a little rollover. Like, I'm sure this MACD is probably towards the negative. Yep. So just give things a little bit of time. This is an interesting week. A lot's going on in the world, but I do think that it is bounce time for these things. And I'm going to start putting some articles like in the description, so they're always there, and then adding to them. and mentioning new articles, why I think the ISO compliant coins are, machines. And it's a little bit of speculation, I know, but the charts do kind of reflect what I'm thinking. So we can look here. This is really a great one. I love the market structure on this. I love the chart structure on this one. This is Quant, QNT. So you've got this psycho explosion started back in November of 2024, ran up. Then you've had this downwards channel, just kind of downwards channeling along, doing what downwards channels do, boom, right? And then what has recently happened? A massive trend to the up, a nice upwards channel has been rolling along. So this is wonderful. And also something I like about this is you can do, it's very, very easy to do a Fib retracement on this one. I'm going to go right here and, boom, where are we at? So we're kind of hanging out here, the 618 golden pocket, where we got down to the 786, found some support. It didn't go back to zero, but definitely you can see where the 618 golden pocket is kind of sticky for this thing. We're playing around there. Also, we're right here in the 200 moving average, so let's get rid of that. 200 moving average is we're right on it, and we kind of got below it. Now we're above it. And that's a good place to be. I think if we can hold that 200 moving average, we're going to be good. Everything's rolling over like the rest. So be careful this week because, we don't know which way things are going to go. Honestly, not even Bitcoin. We don't really know. Just it's moving up. It's looking good. I think things are good for Bitcoin. You can kind of see, I could look at this, different ways all day and just keep us here, forever. But basically, look at that triple top. Boom, what's going to happen next? And even here is kind of an interesting play because if you look here, what do you got? This is the daily chart, so it's very pronounced. That's a double top. What do double tops usually equal? Potty, So watch out for maybe on the daily, we could see a double top form here. We don't quite have one now. Some would say this, and this could be a double top, so be watchful, I just think with the MACD rolling over, one thing I'm kind of looking at is setting an alert for when the MACD actually crosses, because we're going to cross negative. If we do cross negative, give some back, come back up. I think that positive daily MACD cross is going to be explosive. And also, let me look real quick on the 2-hour chart. 2-hour chart, I have noticed, does tend to almost like predict what's going on. Yeah. 2-hour chart for some reason tends to show you the direction that the daily is probably going to head. So right now it's probably heading towards the positive. So let's go back to, let's look at a 45-minute chart. Since this is Bitcoin, sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place, but how does Bitcoin look on the 45-minute chart? Let me erase all this scribble. Sadie double top here, kind of. It gave it back. You have a W pattern, which is a double bottom. What happened then? Boom, it exploded. We're about the 45-minute 200 moving average. I kind of like that. If I was going to go with some kind of a crazy long, like I had like mega faith right now, one of the things I might do would be like get in and put a stop right on the 45-minute 200 moving average. That really is only at about like 104,100 or something like that. Anyway, so enough said. Let's go back to the daily chart. And we've already looked at Quant. Let's look at Solana. Solana is not an ISO coin, but it's definitely a player in things, and a lot of very good crypto market analysts who put out great content do say that Solana is definitely one to watch. This is one of the ones that will definitely make waves in a crypto alt bull run. Right now, MACD's rolled over towards the negative. It moved up regularly, could not quite get over the 200 moving average. Indicators are rolling over. So it's nice. Now we've had a downtrend. Now we have an uptrend, definitely an upwards channel going right there. But be interesting. Yeah, a lot of, here's your double top here, bonk, and of course what happens? Bam. Death. So anyway, be watchful. Solana definitely is one that could, I'm just watching it right now. It's kind of like not that hot. Like pretty much everything is not that hot right now. Let's add one more. Add a symbol. Doge, USD, and all these are USD pairs that are on Coinbase. I'm only looking at those because they're just the easiest for most people to get in on. Doge, a run up like the rest, downwards channel, kind of a rounded bottom. That's sort of nice. Above the it's above, between the 200 and 314. I don't like that very much. Its indicators are, well, it's MACD. It's kind of rolling over here on the daily. It's still positive, but definitely. This is one I would possibly watch for like a 314 bounce and a continuation. Maybe you can try to get above that 200 moving average, but the indicators will tell us that as it gets moving. Looking at a 45-minute chart, how healthy is this one here? Delete this extra hoopla. How's that MACD look? Sorry about that. How's that MACD look? Are you positive? Are you negative? It's indecisive. How about a 2-hour MACD? 2-hour, come on. It's positive. Anyway, I can't quite get too excited, even on the short time frame for this guy. Be watchful. Doge, not too excited. On the 45-minute chart, very immediate price action. It's making a little bit of a run right now. I think it wants to make a higher high. That'd be interesting. Let's expand this guy here. Come on now. Yeah, on the very short time frame, Doge is making a little bit of a run. If it makes a higher high, maybe we might see some higher highs and higher lows as on that daily it approaches the top of that 200 moving average again, and maybe makes a breakthrough there. That'd be kind of groovy. That might be nice. And then anyway, this is an hourly chart. Hourly chart looks pretty good. Hourly chart's getting ready. 45 minutes below the 200 moving average. No, wait, what is it? The 45-minute was just challenging the 200 moving average. You could put like an alarm in for a 200 moving average cross on the 45-minute chart, then look at it on the hourly and see how it's doing. And because indicators are beginning to roll back towards the positive. So anyway, Doge, one to watch, the democracy chainsaw of cryptos. Anyway, there you go. Sorry, I'm going to work on making these faster, being a little bit more together when I do them. This is after the trading day for me, so I'm usually a little bit beat. But Bitcoin, which way is this thing going to go? This is Bitcoin on an hourly chart's pretty strong. 45. How do you look on a 45-minute chart, little Mr. Bitcoin again? How do you look there? Short time frames are not looking too bad, but we are going to have resistance getting past these two highs. But like I say, I'm really kind of looking for how's the 4-hour chart looking on Bitcoin? How's that 4-hour looking? Let's see, 4 hours. 4 hours above the 200 moving average. It's looking, where's that 200 moving average? It's way down there. It's looking strong. We will find resistance getting over these recent highs. The MACD is positive on the 4-hour. Interesting. Look at this long 4-hour squeeze. This thing has been squeezing in the 4-hour for a while. I really think that, and we're just beginning to see some, you guys may not be able to see it, but yeah, one little green spike there. Are we getting ready to see some action? Oh, look at the 4-hour chart. We're beginning to see an increase in volume. That is definitely an increase in volume. Look at that. Oh, no. Up. There we go. Bung. So you guys probably can't see that. Make it white and big. Anyway, so there you go. Increase in volume. Whoa. Anyway, guys, you just got to kind of keep an eye on things. We're kind of seeing in general a bit of a retrace as we get into this week, maybe a little bit of weakness, but I don't think it's going to last. I think these guys are going to be insane runners, and there you go. Is there anything else that we could look at real quick before we get out of here? How about I'm sorry. Is there any other lists I could look at? These are, just as an example, over at Blockchain Education, we go over these every week, a bunch of different lists. And you can see here, I'll just give you guys a little insight here. Aave up like 92, like 9% recently. Look at that. It's challenging this. This will be the third tap of these highs. Indicators are beginning to turn up. Aave on the 4-hour that could definitely be a player. It's moving. So I will, drop you one of the cool coins that blockchain education was. We were looking at this last week, and this is exciting. How's this guy look how's this look on the daily? Ooh, daily chart above the 200 moving average, pushing hard. Has some wicks to challenge. Yeah, MACD is in the right direction. Squeeze indicators in the right direction. Aave, badass coin on the daily. And let's see how's that. Yeah, okay, this makes sense. So if we take Aave here, let's try to get this all in the same frame here. I almost guarantee what's this is back November. This is actually August of 2024. But we're going to have to go back that far to really get a fib that shows what's going on today. Let's go way back here to this low on July of 2024. We have this beautiful run up. And right now, oh my gosh, look at that. The .5, that is really 50% is your kind of like either below 50% is bullish, above is bearish. I'm sorry, below is bearish, above is bullish. We're just breaking above and finding that support. If we can close a candle or two, stay above that .5, 200 moving average was good. These indicators continue turning up. Wow, you know what? Aave, AAVE versus USD on Coinbase. This might be one to watch. And I'm going to do, I'm going to add, just because it's so badass, I will add this to the to the list that we look at every day. So every day that I actually get out here and make it happen. Boom. We'll keep our eye on that one. Anyway, everybody, take care. And just comment, like, whatever, ping me over at Blockchain Education if you remember. If not, I'm going to start linking it. I'm part of a Telegram group. I do believe it's public. People can join, where we do the NQ NASDAQ futures in the mornings mostly. Also a great resource for learning, and I will I'll find out if it's cool, and if it is, I'll start only during the live chat. I will link that. And you guys can hop on. So anyway, everybody, take care, and I will talk to you tomorrow, and I will strive to continue somehow getting these down to like 5 minutes and just be like boom, boom, boom. So that's what you guys really want. So take care.